Who is cop knocking? Is that an alien holding a box? If he abducts me and plays with my private parts, I swear to God. Can I help you? You lost? What's that? Whoa! I can have it?
You can borrow it to show the Earthlings what a real mixer looks like, but you must return it, or utter destruction will happen to your planet.
Well, thanks, Mr. Alien. I'm happy to take it off your hands. You got to pick it up, though. Like, I'm not shipping this. In today's economy, you know, who knows how much it is to ship to wherever the hell you're from. Just come pick it up in 2 weeks, okay? I'm gonna go have some fun. Thank you. Wow, people, wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. Look at this thing. This is the Pioneer OPUS-QUAD. It sounds like a spaceship. It looks like a spaceship. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, honestly. Like, this design, it's not a rectangle, okay? You're used to all these rectangle controllers. It's not. It's like it's a straight line, and then it's like kind of like a curved line out this way, and then it comes up. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's a 7-sided shape? Put it in the comments, okay? I don't know off the top of my head. But regardless, it's crazy. And it's not only just set up to, like, you know, designed to look cool, it's also ergonomically designed, if that's the right word. Because, like, you have extra spots to rest your hand. You know, on the play button in the queue, you can rest right around that so you're not worried about hitting them and stuff. There's lots of room. Everything's wide and spread out. It's very, very big. This thing is enormous. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very big controller. And it's thick, too. Like, it's real thick. Like, check this out. A lot of people say I have a big head. It's like half my face. Look how thick this boy is. It's like half my face. Now, I get it. I know some of you might not like it this big, okay? You might like your controllers a little smaller than this, but there's a reason why they did this. It's because you have all the room in the world to work. This thing is packed with features we're obviously gonna go over today, but you have so much space in between. You're not hitting buttons you don't wanna hit. You have places to rest your hand. You have tons of room in between the EQs here for your trim, for your volume faders. Your whole effects section's nice and easy to use. Huge touchscreen in the middle that's super responsive. Huge platters, so you have all the space for your big fingers, you know, to do the little cuts and stuff. And you also have similar buttons to like the CDJ3000 up here, full 8 Qs. I just overall love the layout of this. You have all the room in the world. It's intuitive. It makes sense. And let's call it as it is. It's pretty. It's just pretty. I don't know. I think it's pretty. And all the knobs overall are what you expect from Pioneer. Very familiar. It's what they use at all their other products. So you're gonna feel right at home with this, you know, with the exception of, you know, you got these little gold accents here and there that they kind of put in there to make it nice and fancy. And you got a pretty cool sound color effects section with 6 options. They're all basically alien mating calls. I don't know. They're pretty cool though. You'll see, look. You got the space. What? You got the dub echo. Okay. You got the crush. Pretty cool stuff. The sweep. That's actually kind of useful. Noise. I like that. The noise is fun. And then your classic high pass, low pass filter. Let's talk inputs, because this bad boy has all of them. So you have 2 main mic inputs, and it's pretty cool because they put a 3-band EQ, a talk over, and a trim level on each mic input. The first one is your mic input 1, right? So you can see your trim level, high, mid, low EQs, and then your on, and then your talk over feature on mic 1. That's located in the back. We'll show you that in a second. Mic 2 is in the front here. Same thing. You have your trim, low, mid, high, and then a dedicated on and talk over, and that input is actually right here, which You know, kind of an odd placing in my opinion, but I think it's kind of cool because like if you think about it, if you're just gonna use like a wired mic, if this is like a house mixer somewhere and you're gonna pop up, you know, throw your USB in and like pop your own mic in, it would be easier for a wired mic just to have it right here and then just talk. You have a short cable. That's kind of the way I look at it, but yeah. Two solid ones. And then for the rest of the inputs, we'll look right back here, obviously. So the power input is an IEC. Oh, love that. Love that. IECs are very common cables if you don't know. So if you lose this one, you can use any other one. You know, that's the right thickness, I'm sure. I mean, don't quote me on that. But most other IECs to power this thing, so you don't have to worry about a special Pioneer power block. Then you have the mic 1 input that's right back here. Then if you happen to want to hook up record players on this bad boy, you do have RCA inputs to channel 3 and channel 4 back here with a phono. So that's pretty cool. And then if you move over here, you have your booth, your full balanced booth out, which is double 1/4 inch, right? The club standard. You have a zone out. You have your 2 masters right here. So zone and 2 masters. The zone is really cool because you can actually put music in a completely different other place. Like you say, like put a mix on channel 4 and have it out the zone. You have a dedicated zone knob right here to adjust the volume. So you can have different music in a different location. You know, so if you're playing multiple rooms or you have multiple concepts, let's say you have like dinner over here and dancing over there, you could put background music for the old people in the dinner room, right? But another really good use for the zone, if you do weddings or any other private event that has a videographer, is you could use it as a dedicated input for them. A lot of times if you're doing private events, you got videographers and stuff, they want to plug into your thing, you can use the zone input. It's the best quality sound you could think of, right? They plug direct in XLR right into their recorders, and you have a dedicated volume knob for them so you can give them the perfect signal. It's legit, because otherwise, you know, if you're not using a zone or something, then they're plugging into your RCA master, or worst case scenario, they're plugging into the back of your speakers, and then they're gonna try and pull it out in the middle of the party. You're gonna hear a huge pop, bad for your speaker, bad for your crowd, bad all around, okay? Can't stand that. Don't plug into my speakers, plug into my zone. And then finally, you have a spot for an Ethernet cable. You do have built-in Wi-Fi on this, but if you wanna make it more secure, hook it direct into a router, you can. You have a USB-C input. This is for your laptop, so if you wanna run this with Rekordbox or Serato, you could do so with the USB-C. And then you have a USB, which is 3.2, which is super fast. This is the one they definitely recommend, I would say, if you're gonna use a flash drive or a hard drive. This is the best port to use in lieu of the other ones that are just kind of extras. Now I gotta mention that it's not gonna be compatible with Serato until this summer, so you're not gonna be able to use it with Serato right away. But honestly, it's meant to be a standalone. Like, you really don't want to use it with a laptop because it's so robust and the features are just amazing, and it's so cool not to use a laptop. Like, I've been having so much fun mixing around with this thing because it's so intuitive and it works super fast. If you own an XZ, you probably noticed that, you know, it's a little slower loading songs, especially if you have a lot of cue points and everything, but they fixed that now. Like with this new one, everything loads in a second, no matter how many cue points you have, everything. It's basically like a CDJ 3000. It's that fast. So when it comes to using this as a standalone, you have a couple options. You can use a USB flash drive, or you can use any hard drive. Now they have the super fast port in the back. I just showed you the 3.2. That's the go-to. You also have 2 extra ports up here. If you're playing with friends, they can toss a USB drive in there, and it's really easy how it works. So basically, when you toss it in, you find your source, right? The USB-C. You click on the source, and then you can organize it by artist, album, track, key, playlist, all that stuff, right? And I basically have 2 different playlists on here just for fun. You bring it up and you can see all your songs organized by key, by BPM, by order. And then when you load it, you just click it, load it to deck 1. You can adjust how big your waveforms are, everything. And then you're right there, ready to go, ready to mix. Now, if you're not familiar with the whole Rekordbox systems, there's other videos out there that can show you how to set up your USB or your hard drive so you're able to just plug and play like that. There are some different steps you have to do beforehand. That way it's read the right way and it's formatted in the right way, so this computer essentially on board this mixer can read it. But it's one of those things where, like, once you do the work, then it's easy peasy, you know? You just gotta do the work ahead of time. So I showed you the sound color effects, but now I wanna show you the beat effects. There's some really cool ones. It's all on board, and it's what you'd expect from Pioneer, right? Lots of options, lots of ways to dial it in. So you have the full setup here. You got your wet dry, you got your button that activates it. Now, instead of like with the 900 where you would select it here, or the A9 where you would select it, you actually select it right on the touchscreen. So you select, channel 1, channel 2, or master, where you want your effects to go, which is super easy, super intuitive. And then you select the beat beat here. You can actually dial in the time here by milliseconds, which is pretty cool. You can obviously auto tap the BPM if you don't have it in auto. And then right here, you could select the effects that pop up right here. So you have like the delay, echo, ping pong, spiral, reverb, trans, filter, flanger, phaser, pitch, slip roll, vinyl break, helix, and that'll be it. So you have all those effects to choose from. And then on top of that, you can also dial in and you have this beat FX section here with the touchscreen. It's set up like a fuck around and find out chart, right? You have like the time of the effects right up here, and then you have the high pass or low pass here. So it basically combines the high pass and the low pass with the effect you select here on top of adjusting the time wherever you're touching on the screen. So, okay, so basically we bring a beat up. We activate our effects on this, right? We have it on channel 2. We activate the effect. We bring the wet dry up, and then we can so it elongates the effect to 4. We're bringing it up to half, all the way down to 1/16. The low pass, up to the high pass, just like the chart, you know? Which is so fun. This bad boy is really customizable as well. If you go to utility, you can customize your waveform colors here, 2-deck or 4-deck wave display, your main display, like basically how brightness your screen is, how bright your deck is, and even different colors for the decks. You can see you do pink, red, purple, coral, wow, blue, aqua, teal, and you do that for each individual deck so you can match the theme of, you know, where you're playing or your personal brand if you're into that. I happen to really like this amber color, honestly. I just think it's really cool the way it's set. But then also if you go to mixer and recording, that's kind of where you adjust your crossfader. You have really specific things you can dial in for the crossfader for cutting and everything, or if you want to do like more mix, and then like where everything goes, like your mic 1, mic 2 inputs, you can have it go out your master zone or master plus zone, which is really, really cool. So you can make announcements throughout all the rooms while playing different music, which is insane. And then your zone setting too. Like right now, zone is just at master. You could set it to channel 3 or channel 4, and then that's where you would put your mixes. So that's if you wanted to just put a mix and have it in the background, you can put that at 3 or 4 and just have that going out the zone right there. And then you can preview it on the headphones. I mean, super, super cool stuff. Makes it very easy. And then you can record internally as well. So USB 1, 2, or 3, you basically select which USB you want to record on. 1 and 2 are right over here, and then 3 is in the back. And then basically whatever one you select, you hit record, that's going to record direct on that USB. And then of course you have an entire settings section where you can dial in all the specific things. And you know, if you need your general information, you know, language, your serial number, Bluetooth settings, network display, everything's kind of laid out here nice and easy. So you can really customize this and make it your mixer, of course. And since we're right here in this area, look at Smooth Echo. Look at that bad boy. Did you see that? This is the first ever standalone mixer with Smooth Echo. This is a turntablist feature. This is something that you can only get on the Rev 7, S11, or S7, and they put it here, and I'm happy they did. And basically Smooth Echo is like when you're cutting, you don't have to cut all echo. You can just cut regularly, and then it'll only echo out the last beat, the last note. It's based on like when you let go of the crossfader or when you bring down the up fader, and you can dial that in as well. So when you get done cutting, it's a nice echo out without having a bunch of echoes in between. I mean, I like cutting with a bunch of echoes too. It's personal preference. You can go back and forth, but it's definitely a cool thing to have. And the first of its kind on this kind of mixer. And then we'll do a quick tour of the buttons here. So you have the hot cues, very similar to the CDJ 3000s, 8 cues here. They're plastic, super intuitive buttons. They work really, really well. And you know, for you DJs that are used to the rubbers or whatever, they're not gonna make these in rubber because like when you make rubber buttons that small, like they're not gonna press every time. You know, like the rubber buttons need to be bigger. That way they're more accurate. You know, when you make rubber buttons too small, they're not as accurate. So that's why they make them like this, but they're built to last. They're not going nowhere. It's literally the same thing that they have with the CDJ 3000. So super similar. You have a track search up here. You select your deck here. Jog feel, super familiar as with other mixers, right? Vinyl or no vinyl, personal preference. Master, beat sync, key sync is here. Tempo, so your tempo range can be changed right here. Master tempo, select on or off. Reset button, because this does not click, but you do have the reset button. So that was one little thing. I was like, wish it clicked here, but it doesn't. So, but that's why you have the reset button. Slip reverse, well, basically when you hold this down, it brings the song into reverse. You know, it's good if you want to get rid of a curse word maybe, I don't know. And then you have dedicated beat jump buttons, which are super clutch. So if you're doing your cue points in here, let's say you have your cue point right here in the beginning, well then now you can use the beat jump search, you jump, and you dial in how much you want to jump. Let's say we just jumped 8 bars, I believe, right? So it automatically jumps to 8 bars, next cue. Jump to 8 bars, next cue, right? And of course, all these cues are color too, so they'll basically match whatever colors you have set up in Rekordbox. So now we've seen the whole mixer, I want to talk about pros and cons with you guys so you can make an educated decision on whether or not you think this should be added to your arsenal. So we'll start with the pros. Positive first. The coolest design I've ever seen. I think personally, some people might, it's gonna be a love-hate thing. I can see some people being like, ugh, ugly as hell, right? I think it's super cool, super unique. Pioneer definitely put themselves out there making a controller like this. It's a bold move because like they broke the norm, you know? Every controller ever has been a rectangle. Now it's a completely different shape. The way it's colored, everything, like the sides, the detail in the sides here, super, super cool. When I seen this, I was like, this is from space. This is like from the year 2030, you know? Like I'm excited. I feel like it pushes the industry forward. I love it, but it's up to you, right? As far as like the look, that's all personal preference. It's all subjective. But aside from that, it's got a lot of room. I love how much space it has. I love the size of it because I want room to work. I hate controllers that are super tight and I'm hitting the wrong buttons. That is not the case here. Quality is top notch. Everything from the faders to the buttons to the platters, everything, the screen, 10.1 inches, 4K. I mean, it's gotta be 4K. It's crystal clear. Everything's very quick, right? Loading songs is quick. Everything's intuitive. I mean, the whole thing is built well and it's built to work well. I didn't find one glitch in it. Everything is just snappy, good to go. Quality stuff. The sound quality is also ridiculous. Now, I'm just a regular guy. Like, I don't know about all like the technical sound stuff. I'm no like sound genius, but I know that like, you know, hearing it, trying it out, definitely listen to it, monitors everything sounds amazing. But for all you tech nerds out there, Pioneer says, and I state, the unit's configuration eliminates transmission loss and ADDA conversion loss and includes a high-quality 32-bit ESS technology DA converter. As a result, the entire venue is gently enveloped by a pleasant sound that enhances the special experience. So if you know what that means, bam, it's got it. Another pro is it's really fast and it can handle larger libraries. So if you have like a wedding DJ size library, you know what I mean? You can hook your whole hard drive into this bad boy and it'll read it. Searching's quick and easy. You can search, you know, with the keyboard pops up, you can type in whatever song. Very quick, easy, intuitive. No problems with larger libraries because I know a lot of us, you know, not everybody has that 10,000 song library, you know. I mean, I know personally I got like 100,000 songs in my bad boy. And I'm also a big fan of the effects. It has a lot of options, a lot of cool stuff that I normally don't use, but I would utilize, you know, just to have it. I think it's very, very cool. The onboard effects sound perfect. Like they're the same quality in my opinion as the S11, your A9s, like that level of effects are built into this. You know, very, very good effects and really cool intuitive ways to use them. Like I showed you earlier with the touchscreen and all that, which makes it a lot of fun. Now let's move on with the cons. So the first thing I noticed was this is a 4-deck mixer, right? You could play 4 songs at once. I personally play 2 at once. I can't handle 4. My ADHD won't handle it. But for those of you that do play 4 songs at once, I would assume that it really would make sense for you to have 4 waveforms right on top of each other stacked so you can kind of like keep them in and, you know, see where you're at, right? When I mix, I like to have my 2 waveforms right there, 1 and 2. So I'm assuming 3 and 4 you'd want there too, and that is not possible yet on this. And I say yet because it's a software thing. I'm sure they can update the software and add that, but that's definitely something they need in my opinion. The second thing is streaming services. As of now, this is not compatible. It cannot stream any music from your regular streaming service like BeatSource or Tidal, you know, like anything like that, Beatport, you can't stream yet to this. And I say yet also because it's got Wi-Fi and an Ethernet port. So like, why wouldn't they add it one day? You know, I don't know why it doesn't have it. Like, it just doesn't, but they gotta be adding it, right? I would assume. Now another small con for some of you is inputs. So it does have 3 USB ports where you can, you know, put a hard drive or a USB thumb drive in there to play off of that. And then of course you can use it with Rekordbox and Serato this summer if you didn't want to use it standalone for whatever reason. But it does not have an SD card port. And I know some DJs use SD cards, they think it's easy and all that, and that would be a bummer to you. But if I can give you advice, if I played standalone, I would never use an SD card. I get SD cards dying all the time on me with cameras. Like they are not reliable. I would never ever trust an SD. I don't care what kind it is, how fast it is, I just would never trust it. I would buy a robust hard drive or a robust USB stick and rock with that over an SD card any day. So honestly, it doesn't hurt my feelings it doesn't have it. Just gotta let you know. And the last thing I want to mention, could be a pro or a con. It depends how you look at it, honestly, but the price is $31.99. It's not cheap, but I'm telling you, this is built to last. It's very, very good quality. Everything feels fancy. It looks fancy. It's super unique. To me, in the standalone world, this thing stands alone. Wow, I never pun. I punned. Did you hear me, Santi? I punned.
I heard it.
That's it, people. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you gonna get it? Would you get it? What do you think of the look? Everything. I'm really interested to see what everybody thinks about this bad boy. And it will be available at the end of March, so it's coming out quick. It's not gonna be, months from now. They got them all decked. They're coming soon. So get excited if you're looking to grab one. I got a bunch of links in the description as well, so if you want some more information, it's gonna be there. And appreciate you as always. See you at the next one.